Welcome in, Monday night quarterback. I'm going to go on a rant here in a minute. Sorry, I'm fixing the TV here. Folks, Monday night quarterback, I'm El Jefe, the owner of 12 Ounce Sports. I'm going to go on a rant. My producer backstage who just showed up right at the start of the show. You young people, I'll tell you what, running a sports network's real fun. No prep time. I don't even know if I sound good. The guy says he's going to be up at 6:30 backstage to help me with this show, to get this show ready. Text me at 6:57 and a half. I'm up. I'm up. These young guys sleeping all hours of the day. Stream for a couple months. Why am I not famous yet? Come on, producer. Let's go. All right, we got a full slate. It's championship night. All right, it's an exciting night. It's championship night. You can catch this show live on Roku, I think. I was trying to get the TV ready there. Roku, Fire TV, YouTube, X. We're going to talk a little bit of championship basketball. We're going to go off topic. It's Monday night quarterback, a lot like Monday morning quarterback. Just not in the morning. I'm not a morning person, as you can tell. And there's a lot of cool things going on in sports. We had a big record broken this past weekend. Huge record broken in hockey. So we're going to start off with some March Madness. But before we go into the game tonight, I want to talk about March Madness. Everybody's upset. There's no Cinderella story. Folks, this is what we wanted. Okay, we wanted the best of the best. We had all chalk. People, that's boring. Why is it boring? This has been great basketball. This has been great basketball to watch. Is it fun to see Drake make the Elite Eight? Sure. Butler make the championship game? Sure. But we already talked about this last week. You're not going to see it much anymore. NIL and unlimited transfers. That's just the way it is. There was only one team in the Sweet 16 that their entire starting five started at the same college. That was my Purdue Boilermakers. And that's changing drastically. Purdue hit the transfer portal hard recently. They're not going to be all five starters from Purdue. You're just not going to see it anymore. But why are we complaining? Just because it's all chalk. Who cares? If you're a bettor, I can see why you might, you wanted the big upsets, the big paydays. But we're seeing the best of the best on the basketball court. And we got a doozy tonight. We got a doozy tonight after that crazy comeback by Houston. I think they went 9-0 run in the last minute 15 last week. Saturday. It feels like last week. Exciting things. So let's get into tonight's matchup. I'll tell you, Mr. Producer, when to bring something up. Actually bring up the MyBookie chart. We're going to look at the odds tonight, okay? Pretty close matchup. Now, MyBookie right now has got it at -1 Florida. It opened at -1.5. Doesn't mean a lot, right? Doesn't mean a lot. Over-under's 140. I'll tell you why that's significant here in just a minute. But part of the reason I wanted to talk about this game, not only because it's going to tip off here in about an hour and a half, us East Coasters are kind of crap out of luck. They got to start it late enough. The West Coast is home. Got to beat that, what's it called, I-9 traffic? I don't know. I'm not from out west. 140 is significant. We'll get into why here in a minute when we get to the averages per game. We got the number one defense in the nation tonight, folks. I think you know which team that is. I'm bringing up the MyBookie stats because that is the certified sponsor of 12 Ounce Sports. Promo code 12OZ Sports, all capital letters, no spaces. Get you a deposit bonus up to $1,000. They have this at 1. It's pretty much a pick 'em. All right, they have the over-under 140.5. So I wanted to get into this to help you folks. I am the Monday night quarterback. I usually second-guess things, but this is current event. It's happening here in an hour and a half. I'm very excited. I have my coffee. I'll go off screen. Got my nighttime coffee. I'm going to be up for this game. All right, us old guys, we can't always stay up for these games. I'm going to stay up for this one unless it gets out of hand. Truth be told, I laid down with 8 minutes to go in the Duke-Houston game. Luckily, I stayed awake, kept the eyes open for the game. Public money, 57% of total bets are going on Florida. But, however, 58% of the cashola is going on Houston, okay? So when people are going for Houston, they're going large because 58% of all the cash put down is put down on Houston, even though 57% of all the bets laid down are going on Florida. That's pretty cool. Now, betting trends. Houston, they are 7-4 in their road games against the spread. Again, this is almost a pick-em. So the totals have only gone over once for Houston in the last 5 games. I think that was the Gonzaga game. All right, the totals have gone over in 10 of Houston's 23 last games at home. I don't know why the home matchup matters. Nobody's home tonight. Florida's 5-0 in their last 5 games against the spread. 5-0. All right, so if they win, just assume it's going to be by 2 or more. They're 9-4 in their road games against the spread, and the totals have gone over in 5 of the last 5 Florida games. So there's your trends. What's that tell you? All right, if Houston can't play their game, if this turns into a shootout, Houston's in trouble. All right, I just laid out the stats, the trends for you. Totals have gone over 5 of the last 5 Florida games. All right, if this turns into a shootout, I think Houston's in trouble. We thought that last time too. But here's also why I think Houston's in trouble. Florida's number 3 in the nation in offense, 85.3 points per game. Houston's number 172 in offense, 73.9. Now, complete opposite on defense. Houston, number 1 defense in the nation, 58.5 points per game given up. Florida gives up 69.8. They're number 104 in defense. So we're going to find out early here, folks. I mean, can Houston slow down Clayton Jr.? Can Cryer go off? I think, if anything, Houston may have to play Florida's game because this Clayton Jr. guy can just shoot, blindly. He casually dribbles out, turns around, shoots a 3, nails it. I think Houston's going to have to adapt to Florida. That doesn't bode well for Houston. But Houston is annoying. You saw the Duke game. They are annoying. They never let up. Things could come crumbling down for Florida at the end of this game. Interesting stuff. Another interesting stat, and then I'll give you my Monday night quarterback assessment in a gambling form here. Shooting percentages. Overall field goals, they're pretty even. 47% for Florida, 45% for Houston. But here's where it gets interesting, and these are averages. On average, Houston's 12 of 16 per game, 75%. Florida's 14 for 20 for 70%. So Florida, on average, shoots 4 more free throws per game, slightly lower percentage. 3-point percentage, believe it or not, Houston, even though they're not high flying, the 73 points per game versus Houston or Florida's 85, they shoot better from 3-point range. They shoot 40% versus Florida's 33%. Rebounds. Florida's got the edge in rebounds. You might not think that. Florida's very lanky and tall. Very lanky and tall. Assist average turnovers. Florida averages 2 more turnovers per game. There you go. Steals are even, blocks are even, fouls are about even. This is a pretty even matchup. And people say, oh, there's no Cinderellas. Who cares if there's Cinderellas? This is the best of the best basketball. This is what we want in a championship game. Nobody wants to see a 20-point blowout. I don't think we're going to see that tonight. And Michael, producer, you can bring up the other stat of this game. That's the averages, shooting percentages, right next to the MyBookie. Pretty even matchup and pretty much what we want from a tournament. Again, we don't want Alabama versus Notre Dame in the championship in football where it's a 35-point blowout late in the third quarter. And the most exciting part of the game at this point is Alabama's fighting with themselves. No, we want 2 teams that bring something different to the table. Florida's high-flying on offense. Houston is annoying and stellar on defense. We got what we want. The Monday night quarterback says, this was a great tournament. So just enjoy the game tonight. If I were you, I'm leaning towards Florida. Of course, I was leaning towards Duke. Now, truth be told, we do a pick out of a hat at work. I have Houston. I stand to win a little money if Houston wins tonight, but I still think Florida's just got a little bit more juice. I think my camera went out. I don't know why. But, of course, my producer wasn't here, so Producer, can you hear me? Pop on screen.
I can hear you, but your camera is frozen.
Okay. See? This is why we need to practice. But you're nowhere to be found when I need you. All right, you stay on camera. We're going to talk here. Actually, we're going to go to commercial real quick.
Let's do it.
All right, we're back. I'm still off camera.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what happened.
Now you got a co-host.
We do. And it's just a green screen.
That works.
Here, I got you. Michael, if you're ever late to this party again. Okay, my green screen's not working, so here I am, no green screen. It's the virtual studio. All right, take down the stat. Now I'm annoyed. These young people, there's supposed to be a virtual background back here. Who knows why it's not working? All right, moving on to the next subject. This is more exciting. Very exciting. I should just turn the camera to my desk at this point. Ovechkin's record. Was it tougher than Gretzky's? All right, that's the $1 million question. All right, very exciting. Let's watch the video clip of Ovechkin breaking the record. It's a fan video. Play that for me. Again, my producer showed up late. Are you playing it for me?
It's not playing. It's not playing.
This is what happens when my producer sleeps in till 2 minutes before. Fuck, whatever. All right. Was it tougher than Gretzky's record? This is a nightmare. There you go. That's a great view. What are we doing here? It's probably my internet. Here's a breakdown of what Ovechkin had to go through that Gretzky didn't, all right? Because Gretzky played in an era where the game was less physical. Goalies were not as highly skilled as they are today. That's definitely true. Ovechkin's era, they played in a league where players are bigger, faster, more skilled. Goalies are often considered elite now. That wasn't always the case. Physicality, the game's gotten much more physical. More hits, more checks, making it harder for players to maintain their scoring pace. Now, the other thing is, that might balance that out a little bit is I think Ovechkin's era, they had more things at their expense, better training, better recovery, but the game is a lot different now. People are a lot more skilled. Modern goalies are known for their athleticism and ability to make difficult saves, making it harder for players to score. Interesting enough, I love this stat. Gretzky scored 894 goals in 1,487 games. Ovechkin scored his 895th goal in the same amount of games, 1,487 games. Couldn't be more even of players. But I think pound for pound, Ovechkin probably had the tougher path to get that record. So good for him. I wish the video would play. I'm very irritated right now. Very irritated. Go to both commercials, please.
BetUS.com is the official place to place your bets and support 12-ounce sports. All you have to do is go to BetUS.com and type in the promo code 120Z and you'll instantly get a deposit bonus. This is America's favorite sportsbook. And remember, always gamble responsibly.
I couldn't be more annoyed tonight, right now. I mean, my producer's laughing, but I mean, trying to run a network here. Well, it's championship night. I'm not going to let that ruin my mood. Internet's good. I don't know what's going on with the browser. Here we go. Monday night quarterback. If I wasn't irritated, we wouldn't be live on the air. Good times. We're having a good time. Hopefully you guys can see me. I have terrible internet. The browser says that. I have great internet, according to this. Michael, you might as well come on screen with me. You're on mute, big dog.
Yep.
Why were you sleeping at 6:30?
I didn't get my proper nap before the show like I thought I was going to. I was doing stupid stuff.
And what stupid stuff were you doing, sir?
Eating pizza and just watching sports videos when I was like, oh crap, I should have been sleeping by now.
You young kids, I tell you what. Let's talk Major League Baseball bottom feeders, since this has gone off the fucking rails already. Major League Baseball, I know you're not a huge fan, right?
I try to appreciate, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
Okay.
What?
You've been awake 18 minutes. Like, why do we even keep doing this right now?
No. I got a good audible for you. Keep going.
Well, do the audible now because I'm annoyed.
All right. Before you get to your bottom feeders and other fun John Morant topic, which is always a great time. I noticed something kind of like late last week that women's basketball, which makes it even more fun. This girl named Floje Johnson of the LSU Tigers used to play with Angel Reese, was part of that game where they beat Caitlin Clark at Iowa. And Floje's got the endorsement deals. She's got the just so much money going her way. And she could have gone to the WNBA draft, but has decided to stay another year at LSU despite being one of the best players in college basketball. I ask you, is this an NIL thing? Like, how in the that's a bad look for the WNBA, right? Like, am I the one who thinks that, or that's a bad look, right?
I don't know why it's a bad look. Look, quite frankly, the WNBA salaries are much lower than what NIL might be paying her. So why wouldn't she? I mean, it's not exclusive to the women's game. There's men that male athletes that are deciding to stay in college an extra year because they're making just as much money. Like, why wouldn't they? What's keeping them? I mean, why go to the NBA and have probably? I don't know. I think they would have a little bit more freedom in college. Like, they're kind of the king of the campus versus maybe having to be at meetings and things like that, almost like a job, versus maybe they just do whatever they want in college and they're making just as much, if not more, for some guys. Why not?
Does it concern you that like these leagues? I mean, I know we've got a whole bunch of superstars. Does it concern you that like college is like the peak for them now because they've made their millions now? Like, it just feels off. It doesn't. This is my yelling at clouds at this point for myself.
Right, but what are you mad about is the question.
We're going to ruin the leagues.
No, it's not going to ruin the leagues. Just think about it. They're going to be even more ready, by the time they get to the big league at that point. Are they not?
I don't know, but are you going to have more injuries? Are you going to have more wear and tear in your body? I don't know. It takes away the love of the money takes away the love of the game because a lot of people that's what they want, and then once they get that, it's like, well, that's it. We made it.
Well, what do you do other than this network that you don't care about the money?
Nothing, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to that dollar. Like, you got to get as Rome said many, many weeks ago, but live on his show, you got to get that bag, son. You got to go get that bag.
Yeah, well, at least I had my Audible ready. I'm very happy about that.
You had your what ready?
At least I had my Audible ready. I didn't have
Well,
anything. I didn't have my timer ready or anything, but Audible was good.
that's true. I mean, I knew this was going to happen, though. Let's just put it that way.
No!
I knew it was.
We should make like a little wager if it ever happens again. Like, what do I have to do?
Well, I don't know about all that, but I mean, I think
it'd be fun.
everything seems to be breaking down. We're not even live on Roku. I don't know. What did I tell you off air earlier? Why do I do this?
No!
Why am I doing this? Why am I going through this?
This is a podcast at this point. We should just talk about women at this point.
We talk about whatever we want. I wanted to talk about MLB bottom feeders because I was reading a bunch of articles about the disparity in payrolls for teams, shit like that. And somebody had posed an article today that I thought was very interesting about having relegation, delegation, and even like a purge league, like teams that just aren't really cutting the mustard. And, they kind of sit in the wings. I don't know if that's going to ever happen, but I had Major League Baseball's payrolls here. This is pretty wild. Do you want to guess what the difference between the top and bottom is?
I forgot which show on the network I saw this on years ago. Well, and the thing was, what just happened? Like a few months ago, we had this. You guys had that. You and Falcon.
Well, that was last. That was last season. I'm talking this season.
Was it like 500 million? I mean, is it that far? Like
no, not even close. So the Mets actually have the highest payroll, 323 million, just a little over. And the Dodgers are just shy of 322 million. Or no, they're 321.2 million. The Miami Marlins are 67 million.
Oh, say that's bad.
67 million. So about 260 million less than the Mets. And all these articles I've been reading are talking about how some of these teams aren't doing anything about it. Like they're not even trying to win. They're not even mimicking effort to win. And obviously it's hurting the product that fans see. Like, what can we do about it? Like, obviously the number one answer is a salary cap, but the players union has already said we're never going to agree to that whatsoever. Not going to agree to that. So how do you fix this? What ideas does anybody have? If you can't have a salary cap, how in the world are you going to fix this?
Wow.
What would you do if you were commissioner? What would you do?
If I was Rob Manfred, I'd do a lot of things. Oh, he is so bad. I guess going to my head, haven't thought about this before, thinking about it now, I would say force sell. Like it has to be some level. It has to be some level of competition. You can't have 30 teams and like 10 of them don't care. It doesn't make any sense. Like we're just here to rake fans in for money. Why do it?
Well, we already said it doesn't. That's not. We already said that. We're trying to come up with how do you fix it?
Force a sell.
Who's going to buy it and then start caring? Like who's going to start caring? Huh?
Well, I don't know. Well, what are your alternatives?
My alternatives are, and who knows if they would ever do it, but I think they need to do relegation. I think they need to send teams to AAA and say, you got to go. You've got to go to AAA. There's no way around it. I know why I'm not live on. I'm going to get this, Michael. I'm going to fix this. Oh yeah, I don't care anymore.
This is brought to you by Wendy's, the all-new 4 for $4.
Who cares? If people are still watching, God bless them, because they're not going to bail on us. This is good. This is good entertainment. I just figured out why we're not live on Roku, though.
Let's do it. We got to see if this works. It still won't work, man. I want that.
Why not?
I just want the video. I don't know. I don't know why it won't work.
And my internet is awesome, and it's saying I have bad range. Maybe it's StreamYard's fault. Who knows? You know whose fault? You know whose fault it is? Major League Baseball's got such disparity in payrolls. The front office. They let no salary cap. They let all these major markets. Look at it. Mets. This is in the order of the payrolls. Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, Blue Jays somehow, Rangers, Houston. Major markets. Although the Braves started out 0-6 and they're in the top 10 in payroll, so it doesn't guarantee success. But if you look at the bottom, we're going from the bottom up. Marlins, A's, Tampa Bay Rays, White Sox, who were embarrassingly bad last year. Pirates, my Pirates always stink, always low. I'm surprised they haven't gotten rid of Paul Skeens. Now we're live on Roku. Now, see, things are looking up right at the end of the show. I love it. And then my Guardians, who made the playoffs last year. So it's not really the downfall of the league that because some of the bad teams, the Cardinals had record low attendance so far this year, I think. They're middle of the pack. So maybe that's not the issue, but teams just flat out don't try in Major League. I mean, I think you have to have some kind of relegation delegation. I wish they would implement that at some point.
I mean, Rob Manfred's implementing a lot of things the old guard doesn't like, so maybe that is something that happens one day.
True.
Like he's been Mr. Innovator, like pitch clock, like that's never going to happen. Well, Rob Manfred did it. So I guess my question would be, because there's no salary cap, and we do pay guys, $500 million for Vlad Guerrero Jr., trying to make sense of that in your head, does it seem like there's more of a discrepancy because of that fact, and really, technically, the talent is not as... Like Juan Soto is going to push you over, It
might be watered down. Maybe the league's watered down.
It just seems like their $260 million gap might be other leagues, smaller gap. That's
true. Yeah. Folks, thanks for hanging in. We got one more topic. We're almost done. It's almost 7:30, championship night. Mike, it started with you texting me 2.5 minutes before the show that you just woke up, so I knew this was going to be off the rails from the get-go. Then my camera goes out. I think it was my browser. I'm going to switch to the MacBook next week. It says my Wi-Fi is weak. It's not. And then I'm looking at us on Roku. My video's fine. So it's just, some days I don't even know why I try. We got one more. We got one more topic. Sorry, I'm not standing up. I like to stand up to do this show. John Morant, does he want to play basketball? Does he even care? Like, has he made enough money that he just doesn't care anymore?
I think he made an Instagram story in relation to this too. I don't know if you're going to get to that after he did get fined, but it's I don't care for him. I'm going to let you talk first, though, since it's your show.
Well, I find it interesting that people are pointing out, like, this wasn't a problem until he started doing it. Why is it all of a sudden a problem? Like, seriously. And then let's bring this up here. Then I can get some video, I think. So there's him doing it. He got fined $75,000. But here's everybody doing it. And Michael, I know why the video wouldn't play for OVs, because my browser went out for a minute. Folks, I'm sorry. We're usually better than this. So I know what you're going to say. It's a double standard because he had off-court issues with guns, I'm assuming is what you're going to say.
That's the only thing I can amount it to, is like, because if he hadn't, how can we say that? Why should the NBA allow him to have the same luxury the other players do? Like, he's on thin ice.
And I'm not disputing whether they should be fining. The real topic is, what's wrong with him? Why is he so fixated on doing this gesture if it's going to jeopardize his career? Like, do you want to play basketball or do you want to do finger guns? Like, seriously, grow up. It's time to grow up.
I don't know if you remember, like, when this first, like, when all the videos went down and finally Adam Silver was like, hey, we're suspending him 70 games or whatever the crap it was, or 20 games. Whatever the number was, Adam Silver came out and was he was pissed. Like, I've never seen Adam Silver, a guy that doesn't show a lot of emotions like most commissioners do, and he was up there like he was not happy. He felt like he had lost the son because this dude basically gave him middle fingers or gun fingers, if you will.
Right. Well, folks. Thanks for watching. I know some of you hung in there. My producer slept in. Amen. My browser went out. I don't know why the browser went out, Michael. I have no idea. Everything's working fine. I'm watching on Roku, but it zapped my camera. So I had to sit down. I can't stand in front of the green screen. It's been a shit show, but people hung in there, so we appreciate it. Monday night quarterback. We'll be back next week, hopefully better. Maybe I'll find a new producer because this guy sleeps.
Nope.
We'll talk backstage. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, Mike. I got the controls. Have a fun time watching the championship tonight. I'm El Jefe, and I'm flustered. We'll be back next week.